welcome to Pirate Radio this evening. I'm Greg. Joining me as always is DJC and Commander X, and you are here this evening for the last podcast of the year, as we will be taking a standard Christmas break along with the rest of TF2. And kicking us off this week, we will go straight over to the team gossip. And of course, the most important, really one of the biggest news of the week is, of course, Shifty getting dropped from Blight Gaming, the new, what were they? MIG
Made
before.
in Germany.
Yeah, and Shifty's been dropped from that team and only been in for a couple of weeks, hasn't he? So, CX, do you want to dive into that?
Yeah, basically, the hot gossip is he got dropped because he wasn't very good, and Ips was slightly better. And Shifty being the classy guy that he is, says, well, I didn't enjoy playing with them anyway, and I can probably do better.
It's not really surprising that someone who went from being in a very bad Div 3 team to being in what is hoping to be like a Prem or Div 1 team wouldn't really make the cut, you know? I mean, it's not like anyone was like, oh man, you ever see that Perilous Gaming play? Shifty fucking destroys when he tops frag against those Div 3 games.
He's hardly quite the superstar. He's not quite MVP, is he?
Not like MVP is a superstar either. Nobody exactly remembers fondly all those great moments MVP had in TF2. Oh man, you remember that air shot MVP? Wait, that didn't happen.
The only thing MVP is memorable for is that video with the dubbed over when he's screaming at them at Maxland. I can't find. I won't be able to find the link, but if someone does and paste it to me, I'll paste it in the radio, the Pirate Radio channel. Do of course keep up to date with us in our IRC channel while we're going along. #Pirate Radio. Later on, we'll come along to questions, and that, in all honesty, is as far as we'll go on over the Ips Shifty scandal. We've already talked about that Blight team before.
Can I make fun of MVP more though? Because like
if
I don't
you want
even.
to.
I don't even know the MVP video. All I remember MVP for is that every time I ever spoke to anyone and said, hey, what do you think about MVP? They went, he's fat. That's literally it. That's all that anyone has ever told me about MVP. I've talked to a lot of people about MVP,
really?
like Dunk and also Dunk, and Dunk again a couple times. Yeah, pretty much. That's about it.
Yeah, I don't really know much about him myself. He seemed like a good caster back then, but he was very, very angry. Half decent caller, couldn't really aim. But that's about it from my books. Do you want to keep going, DJC?
Fat? We can go on. It's fine.
Okay.
Well, none of the Germans have disconnected yet from their little private room, so basically
so we haven't
enjoying
ridiculed them enough.
MVP-based humour.
I already, like, when I did TF2 Street, I literally said that every person who plays TF2 from Germany eats feces, and I don't think, if they didn't quit over that, they're not going to quit over, like, me calling MVP fat.
They're still all here, it's okay,
I'm actually just
we've not
pasted
lost
it into the
audiences.
chat. It's just absolutely amazing, Rich. You've got to watch it. While Rich watches that, we'll come back to it later. We might as well move on to our next gossip. It's hilarious, mate. I don't remember who did it with a overview. And Randa is busy spamming me because he is one of the people that messaged me. Funnily enough, Randa, I got it messaged about 4 or 5 times, mate. Shut up. So, we're going to move on to the next topic, which I've lost my list of, which is, in fact, we're just going to talk about that new Finnish lineup that seems to be emerging with all the Finnish teams, like, kind of disbanding, illegal disbanding, Seacraft losing players. Do you want to dive in and talk about that again, Commander?
Sure. Yeah, so we played them the other day with my new look team and beat them, obviously, because we're brilliant. But the lineup so far seems to be Parvi on Medic, Mathu on Demo, Pumpu and Ollie on Soldier, and Fluffy and Vallone out. And they seemed pretty good, even if they were pretty silly in our PTWs. So outrageous tactics.
What you're telling me is that we have a new season of TF2, and there's only one new German or Finnish team so far? Like, really?
Really? Yeah. I
don't know, man. Like, there's at least 3 other teams that folded. I'm sure we're going to see Namu. Namu needs to make a team. He's not in this new team. So I wonder which 5 Finns Namu's going to wrangle up to make another Finnish team that's going to fold after another single season of playing TF2.
Don't worry, mate. There's still 5 weeks left to go. We'll see him later on. We'll definitely talk about that as well. But I do want to say that I think this lineup seems pretty decent. There's a lot of old school players that are very good at the game, but have all stepped back due to various reasons. Matthew and Pumpu being, the main 2 there, who end up dropping out of Dignitas in the previous lineup, and kind of because they didn't have enough time to play. I don't know whether this team will actually play a lot or not, whether it's actually announced, but it's a pretty cool lineup to see, and if they actually do focus, they will definitely be challenging at least the Prem teams. Whether the top Prem teams, we'll have to wait and see.
One good thing about this team is that since it looks like there's never going to be Assembly again, and it's not like Finns are ever going to show up to an I-Series, I doubt that Valone's going to be going 1-28 anymore. So we're going to have that embarrassment again.
It was 2 in 28.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You can defend this guy.
Was that I-Series, was it? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is that when he played for... Who was he playing for?
Power.
MBC's mixed team. Oh, no, sorry.
Power when he was drunk. This was in the semi-final, and that they still won against Fackle Brigade.
Oh, was that the event where Dan and Valone were both like taunting while on the stage and throwing their chairs off the stage and shit like that?
Yes.
Oh, what a fun event.
Was that the like I-Series where Fackle Brigade ran X-Fane and the Amazing Beetle on its soldier pair? I'm pretty sure.
No, this was when James Admirable, whatever his last name is, was American Medic.
There's an MC, I know that much, but he's Irish, that really goes without saying. So James Admirable Mick. Yep, sounds good.
McDonough, I think it is. I'm not 100%. Well, while we're on the subject of these extra ex-Dignitas players, I do want to give a shout out to Jackal. He ended up stepping out of the old Dignitas lineup, pulling a looper, as a lot of people, as I would say anyway. He's dropped out due to his girlfriend being pregnant, so good luck to him. Everything going on there, he's an absolute legend at LAN, and if Assembly does go ahead, we'll be seeing him then. So I just want to give a shout out to him then. And that's about it, really, for this team, unless anyone wants to go into it. Or maybe Ollie's first chance at a proper stage, rather than the standard illegal stage. Do you guys want to chime in on that, or not at all?
I think Ollie's really good. And
yeah,
he played in the old Power lineup that went to 1i series as well.
The only thing I really know about Ollie is that he's Finnish, and he has a double I in his name, which doesn't really narrow anything down at all.
It's a triple I. It's a triple I.
Is it? Jesus
He's such
Christ.
an individual.
I've seen him merc Finnish TF2 player.
I've seen him merc for a few teams in Prem, and he's definitely held his own. He's definitely a good soldier, so it'd be good to see if they actually do stay together. I doubt with Balone and Fluffy playing Scout, it will last very long. They both just seem to want to get drunk and not play ever, so we'll have to wait and see over that. Does anyone want to chime in anything else?
He pissed himself at that one LAN, that was pretty nice.
Who?
Fluffy? Pretty sure it was Fluffy.
I've not heard this.
There's a picture of him, like, drunk outside. It was when all the Finnish people and, like, the one English dude who were there went to the Finnish nightclub. And everyone was just getting fucking hammered.
Is this when me and Admirable and a bunch
I don't
of
think
Finns
you've
went
ever
to
been to
nightclubs?
Finland in your life, Zavi.
Oh,
no.
in the Finnish nightclub.
Was this summer
Vices.
assembly or winter assembly? Do you know?
I don't even know. All I remember is there's a picture of Fluffy, and he's got on some capris, and male capris, by the way. Oh my God, Jesus Christ! Never wear them. But there's like there's a very clear circular stain right where his penis would be, because he clearly pissed himself. And I asked him about it, and he went, I probably did.
I do have to give a shout out to Fluffy. He's absolutely legend at Assembly. Like, there was no booze allowed on the event, right? And he had a PC area, but brought his PC case with nothing in it, like no hardware hardware at all, and just filled it with vodka. So he was just carrying in a case, which of course they didn't look inside, which just had shitloads of vodka in it. So we were just getting shitloads of booze or Fluffy for most of summer assembly. Definitely a good plan if you are going there and taking your PC. You don't really play anything at LAN anyway. You don't need your PC. But we'll move on. And I've heard that Commander X is pretty good at making a player get kicked from teams and stuff like that. So I've heard a rumour that he has yet another player in mind and lined up. Do you want to dive in there?
But the latest cutting news is Sparkle will no longer be Exotics Medic, and no one really knows what's happening. When they're not playing over Christmas. Sparkles should still be in the team, just not as Medic because he gets too angry while playing Medic and it affects the comms too much.
It's kind of weird, isn't it, Zavi, that you play Medic and you manage Exotic and they need a Medic, and yet you've never ever trialed for them.
They asked me to merc today. You know,
oh, they asked you to merc, but was it a trial or was it a merc? Was it a Sparkle failed on us, so we need a Medic, or was it a Commander X? We would like you to come trial as Medic because we think you can handle top Div 1.
No, if they end up dropping to picking up Commander X, they're gonna drop mid Div 2 level. That's sort of level.
Hey, to be fair, Temu did wish them good luck in Div 2, and I mean, Commander X would make that happen very easily.
I give my players what they want as manager. Taimu said Div 2, I'm going to give him Div 2.
Yeah, but Temu's not your player anymore, so really you're giving a fat Finnish baby what he wants and telling your team to go fuck themselves. That's not very nice,
I have potential.
No, you really...
I have potential.
Let's go check when Commander X registered on EATF2L and determine how much potential he had. I forget who it was. I forget who it was who said it, but someone said if you have more than 700 days on TF2, you really don't have potential anymore. And let me click Commander X registered 1,008 days ago. I don't think your potential exists anymore, Xavier.
I'm a late bloomer.
You probably injected it into your bloodstream, and it's been destroyed by now. So just get over it.
That's good news for me because I'm not at 700 days yet. Yes, come on.
Yeah, your aim's gonna get so much better. So much fucking better.
Yeah, just as a heads up to everybody, I'm not going to be enjoying this podcast when we get later down our list of things.
You don't enjoy any of these podcasts. It's not any different.
So I might be muting myself. You just be listening to Commander X and DJC. Just have fun.
I'd like to get an early start of the fun. We played a CSS mix last night, and in one of the halves, Greg was 1-11, barely
1-11.
Hey, what happened on the other two halves when I got 30 bomb on both halves? Fuck you, DJC. You barely got 15 frags overall across 4 sides.
Greg played competitive CSS. He was in a quote top 10 UK team, and he went 1-11 against an ultra low.
No, that was the low team, mate. Come on, give me that.
Sorry, it wasn't the ultra low. At 3 a.m. 3 a.m. low team looking for a CSS mix.
They were
Greg
keen
can't
as
muster
fuck.
a second
They were keen as fuck. Right. Well, let's move on from CSS, mate. This is the TF2.
Move on to the other ways we can make
chat.
fun of Greg. Is it Kadrid next? Or
No,
is it the final?
We're going over to the one bit of American news we have this week, which is Snooplicity have been picked up by Blight Gaming. We've had this discussion before of how retarded any team can be to go to Blight, and I can't even bother to go into the rant again. Like, if anyone wants to take my place and do it, then go ahead, but just, what the fuck.
James Blackfoger Larson still owes $1,000 to Smacka, and he is now sponsoring 2 teams.
Well, to be fair, he's never going to have to pay for anything because Snooplicity, is he?
No, he's never going to have to pay for anything for Snooplicity or the other Blade. It's not going to matter. He's never going to be showing up to a LAN anytime soon.
Safe bets.
Oh, guys, do you want to go to I-44 and play TF2? Nah. Okay. Good thing we have Blade as our sponsor, though. Yeah, it is. Now let's go be German together. Okay.
Okay, so Snooplicity at the moment, does only one team get eliminated from, relegated in ESEA? Do you know, Rich? I have no idea how it works.
They don't even do like a promotion relegation. It's literally that the admins go, hey, we need to get 8 teams for invite. Let's pick them. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Sounds like a better system than ECF2L.
Yeah.
Plus, every bottom team in invite folds every season anyway, so it's not like it fucking matter.
Fair enough. Yeah, I was just wondering because obviously they picked up Snooplicity at the moment, at the bottom of the table, so bit of a dodgy pickup. It's basically gone. I have no money. I can maybe pay for your ESEA. That's it. That's what he said.
He has his mom's credit card, okay, and that's all that matters. I feel like people don't actually realize that that's how he actually paid for things. In like the old Blights, he used his mother's credit card. Someone from one of the Blight teams got like the statement back, and it said as the person who paid, Susan Larson, with her signature attached. So,
have you heard of an organization called Link Gaming? It's an European org, right? And basically, it's headed up by this disabled guy, okay? And he's only doing it because his mum gave him 20 grand to start a gaming org. 20 grand. So he's literally just picked up these top players like Rattlesnake and shit like that for Source, just to pay for them to go to LAN, and they're going to leave again because it's not even an org.
When I was going to join Deserto as medic, Link Gaming was one of the sponsors we were asking to pick us up. We could have been sponsored by a cripple poop. That would have fucking owned, huh?
That would have been amazing.
The old rumor about Blackfoger was actually that the reason he had money to pay for sponsoring teams was because he was crippled and got disability pay from the federal government. And I still want to believe that. I still want to.
That would have been an amazing source of funding.
Indeed. So let's move off of the, gossip and stuff like that, and move on to our actual game news for the week. Let's start off where I didn't play. The other playoff game that was Crackland versus Epsilon.
You didn't play in either of those games, Greg. I'm pretty sure. You had no. If you did play in one of them, you had no actual effect on the game.
Oh, thanks, mate. Cheers, man. Let's just start there and just say what a non-entity the game was. Like, it was the most pointless game, in all honesty, with Crackland being totally. They haven't really played a game for like a month and a half.
Yeah.
And before that, for like 3 weeks, they weren't even getting any results. Like, they trailed off towards the end of the ETF2L season anyway, and now they've come back, found someone to play eventually, and just played together, no practice, and just got destroyed by Epsilon. Absolutely destroyed. So I don't know if anyone wants to bring anything into that. I didn't actually watch the game because it's not even worth me watching it. I think it was 5-1, 6-1, 4-1, 6-1, something like that.
So. I don't know, Greg. You're asking for like me to offer an opinion about what it was like to get destroyed by Epsilon, but you have a lot more experience with that than I do.
That leads us on quite nicely to the playoff final, then.
Go for it, guys. Start
Hi,
off.
Greg. So
okay, so in fact, before we do, I'm just gonna, give a quick intro for anybody that hasn't seen anything. Obviously, everyone has. So, Epsilon versus Infuse, the final of ETF2L. 3 maps: Badlands, Snakewater, and Gullywash. So Badlands went, 4-3? 4-3 in Golden Cap to us. Snakewater went 5-0 to Epsilon. Yeah, that was our pick, guys. Awesome. Then Gullywash went 3-2 to them, unfortunately. So there you go, guys. A little bit of background, and then I'll let these guys have some fun, and I'm just going to sit here and drink.
Some of my favorite moments from that match. Oh, and there were so many. I watched Greg so much, and it was just so entertaining. On Badlands, when it was here's what I've learned about Greg. Greg can do really, really well in TF2, so long as his team is getting absolutely fucking destroyed, because he just steals he gets all these useless kills. Because when it was 3-0 on Badlands to Epsilon, Greg was like top fragging like 21 kills. And then, Seb and Flisco and Quad had 4 kills, and 5 kills.
Quad was on 2 frags for most of Badlands.
Yeah. So Greg was really carrying Infuse to those 0-round wins, like doing such a sick job. And then, finally they win the 4 rounds, and it's like, oh, Numlock doing well, Quad's doing better, Flisco's doing better, Mike's doing really well. Oh, Greg, still on 21 frags, I see.
Hey, I had a good Golden Cap round.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Sure.
I remember that. I agree. Moving on. We had Snakewater. Oh, man. Here's the thing that I don't understand about Infuse, right? Greg isn't known for his aim, and Quad isn't known for his brain, but then Greg's not known for his brain either, so what the fuck? Like, there were 3 different times on Snakewater where Walters spawn camped you, and it was like Greg was the first one to die to the spawn camp, and I'm assuming that all Greg did when he died.
It wasn't on Snakewater, was it? It was Gullywash.
I don't remember. I don't care. I'm just gonna make fun of you anyway.
Oh,
regardless,
thanks, man. I did call it, so fuck you.
Okay, so what the fuck is wrong with your team that nobody listens? Does nobody respect your calls, Greg? Is that how bad your comms are? That they're just like, oh, Greg called something, probably not true. Move on.
All on local mute.
Don't forget the amazing moment on Snakewater where both Epsilon scouts did a double back cap of middle and second without Greg or Quad even batting an eye at it. Oh man, it was so brilliant to just watch Greg and Quad not pay attention to the flank ever, as Walters and Stefan just went, oh, well there's nobody here. I'm gonna go cap the point. This is weird, neither scout is coming back either. And now Greg and Quad have both died for the 30th time. Well, I guess we won this round, and now it's 4-0.
Another moment was when, I think it was Snakewater between 1 and 2. Infuse were on, defending CP2, lost sort of the exchange, went 2 players down, at which point Quad thought, damn, we're 4 versus 6, now is the best time to try and one-on-one a fully buffed heavy. And obviously failed.
My favorite part came on Gullywash, though. It wasn't... Here's the thing. Everyone's gonna say that those games were good, and yeah, they were exciting, because, it was 3-0.
They were close on the 2 maps,
they were close.
Which is why it was good. It wasn't good TF2.
It was such bad TF2. At one point, someone had 70% Uber advantage and just sat in choke on Gullywash playing with themselves. We're not gonna push off for this. That's just 28 seconds of Uber. We can win a fight without that, right, guys? And then no, hilariously, the fight was not won.
I actually don't know what happened there. Like, it was, I watched the VOD back, okay, and Mike went in alone, died. Seb
Classic.
then went in afterwards, died, and Dunk and Flisco were at choke. Didn't pop to get them. We had Uber advantage, just popping would have got the point. I don't know what happened. I don't even remember what happened there, to be honest. So it happened like that. It was on Badlands. We still won the map, so
I wish
Seb
I
and
could
Mike, Seb and Mike playing too aggressive and dying. That sounds like a surprise.
I wish I could conveniently forget all the times that I got 5-0. That'd be helpful. Also, on Gullywash, it was 2-1 to Infused, and it looked like Infused had it in the bag.
What could go wrong?
And then they made, like, the ugliest push that TF2 has ever seen.
They tackled it.
I don't know how you, like, push and lose 6 when you have Uber. Like, I've never understood how that happened. What happened, Greg? Like, just please explain that to me.
Talk us through it.
I don't really know. Like, they had 2 scouts on second, didn't they? And double back cap. Their medic and demo were in bottom lobby, and they had 2 players on last, okay? And we had 6 on last and didn't cap the point.
Yeah.
But I don't even know what happened. There were stickies on the point, so no one wanted to get on it, I think, is what basically happened. And then they just capped second, and then we all died. That's pretty much why we lost that game. Just that. So.
And that horror show that you just described came after 7.5 minutes of just sitting there staring at last. So that was good. That was fun for the spectators.
7.5 minutes of failed,
well, the
really,
thing is,
really conservative failed pushes.
Well, the thing is that we had done that for so long, those conservative pushes, and now Epsilon are panicking because there was only 5 minutes left, and then we go and do that.
And then you
if we'd just
harder.
taken our time, we would have killed them all and capped the point because they would have panicked harder. Like I don't know what happened, so I can't really explain. I think everyone was a bit nervous, stuff like that. No one really listening to comms, standard sort of shit in officials. I think everyone gets a little bit assuming we're going to win these. Well, I say win, assuming that stuff is going to happen in these games. Don't forget this is our first season together, so meh.
As you were sitting there for the 7.5 minutes, I had assumed that somewhere in Mumble, in the Infused Mumble, someone went, "We got to park the bus, guys. Win this game."
Nobody had said that. No,
you banned from saying that, Craig.
I tried to like casually hint at it because the thing is, if someone calls, then our team gets. If someone other than Seb calls, our team ends up falling apart because Seb doesn't like it if anybody else calls because it kind of makes him think that you're countering his calls, and then he goes a little bit of emo. But like if I kind of hinted at going park the bus because I said, do you want me when I died in one of these things? I think I was trying to ninja on the pipe or something. Obviously got spotted. Yeah, Epsilon know all my spots now. When I was respawning, I was like, do you want me to go spy sniper at NG? Like that was my subtle little hint at parking the bus. But no, just stay scout. Oh well.
Oh man, I don't understand why when teams try to park the bus, not saying you did, but it's like, yeah, we're gonna park the bus. So let's sit here on our default lineup, and then that'll hold, right? It's like you can use 2 engineers and a heavy.
We went heavy, and we have never used a heavy in our lives on Gullywash. It just, to me, it feels really, really weird that we, on Gullywash, when we're stuck for things to do, even though we're winning, we go, let's not stay with our default strategies. Let's not see if it'll work this time. We go, okay, let's use something we've never used before.
Yeah.
So it's like you're trying to be really defensive, but no one wants to say let's be really defensive
I
because
think
you're
so.
an aggressive quote-unquote team.
Basically, Infused batted it up for about 2 hours, and then the game ended, and it was fun. And then there was double heavy drama, and I really, really wanted you guys to dispute the results, because I would love to see ETF12's admin team of Div 3, 4, 5, and 6 players try to go, well, in this amazing Prem game that determined the season, they used 2 heavies, so what the fuck do we do, guys? They would literally scream and run around the room panicking, having no fucking clue what to do.
I imagined it on STV as that happened, literally just leaving, like, I can't deal with this, I'm going to fake AFK, just fuck it, pull my computer plug, I'm not dealing with this.
I don't even know what happened on our comms because I've watched the VOD that is Stefan's demo back, okay? And we're not even in on last when he's come out of the door. If you see what I mean. We have a soldier in on his own.
We focused him too, like someone was screaming, "We focused him! We shot so much, it's heavy!"
Like I was dead, obviously, and So I just respawned, and I was being spawn capped by Walters or some shit at this point as well. So I run out of spawn, having typing at the same time, and Walters kills me again. And I don't really know what's happening because I'm not there, don't see anything. Everyone's saying, "Oh, double heavy," and we're just like questioning it. And we just push it, and obviously fail the push. It ends 3-2, and we then obviously I talk to an admin, see what they say. Talk to Epsilon, see what they say. Talk to our team, and then we've ended up deciding against protesting it, which I've looked at it and is the right decision. The heavy mate had no impact at all. I watched, someone's put it on YouTube of Stefan's POV, okay? And he runs out of the right door. He has seen the heavy already on his team, so whether that's up for dispute, I don't know. He runs out the right door, and a soldier jumps out of the middle, jumps out of last. Nobody else there, okay? Then Stefan runs out, spins up, gets healed by F2, looks down, sees the other heavy, okay? And then as he's running away, he looks top right and Seb's up there, okay? And nobody spams anything at him. And then he runs into spawn and changes class. That's what actually happened. What happened according to the Mumble was completely different.
They had 3 heavies and they killed all of us. Like, why the fuck are we disputing this result?
What was it as well? Quad got killed while he was typing.
No, okay, no, he didn't get... So I got killed on spawn camp at second, told everybody, right? And then Quad runs out and gets killed on spawn cap at third, and then I get killed on spawn cap while I'm typing because of the double heavy.
Wait, so you're saying it's not a good idea to stop to type a message with 30 seconds of the grand final of the entire season remaining when you're pushing their last? That's not a time to stop to type a message.
Remember, guys, Greg is
enough,
a Prem player, and he did this in a match.
This is what
there's
you all
hope for
aspire
all
to.
of you. There's so much hope for every single one of you. Commander X could be Prem one day. Just think about that.
Need a few more team folds and I'm there, man.
17 more teams gonna fold? Is that what's gonna happen, Zavi?
I'm working on it.
I really just want to, like, I got pasted a chat log of one of the admins saying, yeah, probably would have given you the default round win for the 2 heavy.
Yeah.
And that is such a catastrophically bad decision for, like, just because of how little effect the heavy had. And it basically would have boiled down to the rage of Infused would lead to a golden cap being played after Infused completely botched the match.
Not only that,
They deserve to win because we screwed up Gullywash so hard.
Yeah.
So, like, we had a talk about it, and that's what came of it, and we decided not to dispute it, you know. And if it had gone to a golden cap, it wouldn't have been deserved. So,
but for the sake of hilarity, just for humor's sake, Greg, couldn't you have protested just so we could just imagine Buffalo Bill's reaction as he got that dispute request? He just go, "Oh my god."
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they could have possibly given it. I
They
think
would have
if
done,
if we had wanted to dispute it, judging from what Stefan did, he didn't do very much. But judging from our reaction, maybe we could have disputed the fact that we wasted, 30 seconds or something talking about it. But that's our own fucking fault. So
if there is the possibility for an ETF2L admin to do the most immeasurably wrong thing, then it will be done.
True. Okay. But I did talk to Epsilon, and they said the admins had said if it got we would have been given a round, it would have been 3-3. So do you want to play a golden cap now anyway, just for the fans and stuff? And they were just like, no, we don't want to.
What was it they said? They'd play after Christmas or something?
Yeah, they'd say we'll play after New Year, and I was just like, I can't even be asked trying to do that.
Man.
It's one round, 10 minutes at most, and you're saying no. They were playing mind games with us as well at the end of it, but they, in all honesty, it shouldn't have gone to a golden cap in my books. So
exactly.
So we did the right thing, and
wait, don't try and get out of this by saying, well, we did the right thing. Like we're such great sportsmen. It doesn't matter that we lost because we're such great sportsmen.
Auntie just messaged me this to remind me of it. If you watch Stefan's video of his POV. Stefan looks at the heavy while he's dead, in spec. Then he switches to watch F2,
who's looking at the heavy as well.
And then Stefan spawns and goes, "I'm gonna go heavy." Oh my god! I know people say Shocky doesn't have much of a brain, but he doesn't have fucking eyes apparently. Holy shit!
And then what was it? Slick was complaining about us using unlocks, okay, because they hadn't used the ETF2L config on the server. Like, there was no whitelist on the server. So I ran out as sniper with some that were 150
Razorback.
HP Razorback on, yeah. Just like casually talking, sitting on the right hand side, and Dunk goes to me, "You know you got the Razorback on, Greg." I'm like, "Really? Oops." It's like one of the times I go pyro, and it takes me about 30 seconds to get rid of everything off my pyro. I might as well have just stayed scout because they pushed in while I was trying to get rid of everything.
I think Quad had the Grew as well for like the entire time he was running heavy.
Yeah. Running vanilla, excuse me, has ruined Europe because you think the Razorback gives you 25 extra health, Greg.
Well, I wasn't using the Razorback then. I was using whatever Darwin's
you were
Danger
using the
Shield.
Darwin's Danger
There you
Shield,
go.
good sir.
There you go.
Learn your
I didn't know
unlocks,
what the
Greg.
fuck it was called, man.
How can you do a TF2 podcast when you don't even know about this game,
How
Greg?
can you
I don't
be
even
Prem at this
understand.
game? You don't even know the weapons.
Hey,
even know the weapon.
I think you should be fucking ridiculed Commander X for this, right? I said
What?
I had plus 25 HP, and then Commander X called it the fucking whatever Razorback.
No.
Not me.
I thought that was a bit odd, but you said you were wearing the Razorback, so I
didn't say Razorback. I said plus 25
no,
HP.
but not
You
live,
absolutely
but
said
before.
Razorback, Greg. Just
Oh,
accept
did I?
it.
Before
Okay.
I said
Accept it and move
Razorback
on.
the entire
Oh,
Accept
did
it
I?
and move
I'm
on.
sorry.
Like you are
Okay.
having so much trouble accepting your lost Epsilon in the best of 3 series for the ETF12 Grand Finals for Season 10.
Okay,
Despite
so well,
finishing.
congratulations to Epsilon.
Indeed.
They deserved to win. They played well. We didn't, and that's that. They do end up winning ETF2L Season 10, taking, what was it, 6 Steel Series Sensei's? Is it Sensei's?
Sensei, yep.
Yeah, whatever it is. And we take
The
Infused.
headsets are better
Congratulations
anyway.
to Infused.
You
We
intentionally
still
tanked to
still
get the
take
headsets,
second.
obviously.
Yeah, obviously, mate. Obviously. And so congratulations to Infused. We did manage to take, second, get some Steel Series, whatever they were. You just said them. Version 2s of, I don't remember what they're called.
Siberia, I think.
Yeah, Siberia, that's it. So that's ETF2L all wrapped up for Season 10, just before the end of the year. Looking forward to Season 11. I don't know what's going to be going on, whether we'll have some of the same teams or if anything's going to drop out, but I'm pretty sure we'll have a pretty good Season 11, in all honesty, judging by what's going on there. But I think we should move on from all the ETF2L stuff now and move on to Cadrid. I'm just going to sit here and let someone else talk if they want.
How did you kill MG and Kadrid within like 4 days of each other, Greg?
Yeah, that's quite impressive. Like, do you hate the TF2 community?
Okay, guys. So just as a backstory, Gonzo has recently made a post saying that they're dropping TF2. He did talk to me at I-44, saying that it's looking likely that's going to happen. It's just there's not enough support from the TF2 community on the website. Even if we wrote articles, there still doesn't draw anybody in to the website from TF2's point of view. So, for example, I wrote an article a while ago, which got 3 comments on. 3, okay? So according to them, it's brought 3 TF2 players to their website to then maybe look at other stuff. As a website, we haven't drawn any TF2 players into it, and that's what Gonzo said to me, which is fair enough. So it's ended up being dropped. So I have now killed Cadred. I'm good mates with Gonzo still. I've killed Cadred because I was the only one actually writing, or non-writing, as I probably should just say, for the website at the time, and that's pretty much what's happened. So the only news outlet we have at the moment is Vanilla TF2, which should probably have some sort of more professional style news to it, rather than the blog-esque style that it has now. So I don't know if you guys want to dive in. So they've already just said, in fact, I killed MGE, now killed Cadred.
All I know is if I was Torden, I would ban you from Vanilla, I would disassociate from Vanilla, you would never be allowed to cast again. I would be shaking in my boots. I would be so terrified that you would put your stain on Vanilla TF2.
Oh, so I'm not allowed to cast anymore, according to you then, DJC. So this podcast, in theory,
You
should
can
die
cast all
because
you
of
want.
me.
This isn't Vanilla TV associated. That's
We
been
merely,
pretty clear.
Yeah, we merely make an announcement on
Okay.
Vanilla.
Fair enough. But because I'm part of it, it should die, surely.
Well, you're replaceable.
Oh, okay, that makes sense then.
There are 3 replaceable people in this cast, let's be honest.
Looking at you, Dallas.
Yeah, fuck you, Dallas. I carry this show, motherfucker, I'm so good.
just as a heads up for everybody that is still here, we are doing an after party after this. Last time we called it 2.5 or whatever it was. We're going to call it an after party, us just having a bit of banter, a bit of fun. And we've actually invited Daleth on to go and do Daleth's Joke Corner. So anybody that knows Daleth knows how funny this will be, but you'll have to wait and see for the after party, guys. So we'll just leave that for now. Do you guys want to talk anything more about Cadred? We've kind of been over everything that's going on and why TF2 needed it, and a lot of people. Do you want to go into what you said about Nicked earlier, DJC, to me?
About...
Well, like, he's posted saying that Cadred is worse off for not having TF2.
How the fuck can you possibly be that stupid? Like, how is it even imaginable that TF2, like, gain something from Cadred being gone? This little community, Gonzo's sitting there like, oh man, I really lost out this time on that game that gives me 3 comments per post. Like, if you look at even the most boring, mundane posts about any other game, they get 3 to 4 times as many comments as any TF2 article. And it's like, the especially interesting ones can get like 300, 400 comments. And the only time that a Cadred TF2 article has ever stirred up any discussion, it was because Gear decided to be a little baby and yell at Mike, and that was it.
Yeah.
That's
like,
it.
so, what was it you were giving me figures, the amount of comments from October's top 10? 13, was it, or something?
I didn't do a
comment.
strict count, but it's like, there were... Yeah, I just like kind of eyeballed it, you know? I just fucking... I am a master of guessing how many pennies are in the jar kind of thing. So I just looked at Cadred and I'm like, alright, this has 12 comments. And then I was right.
Darren Brown. Jesus.
It's like, if you average like 9 comments per article, and Cadred is comment-driven and discussion-driven, how in the world could you ever expect TF2, which everyone in TF2 claims to love this game so very much, and that they'll support it in any way imaginable, and then 3 people fucking comment on Greg's last article? Seriously?
Most of the comments on Vanilla TF2 were like, well, I didn't read Cadred, so I'm not that bothered that it's folded.
Yeah.
And one more thing, I want to see Nick T's latest comment. I am sometimes amazed what shit I can write when drunk. He he he. What sort of a cop-out of saying the stupidest thing on Vanilla TF2 in a while is, oh, sorry guys, I was so drunk, I'm such a party
out of interest,
animal.
Didn't he post that around 2 PM today?
Hey,
Who would be drunk in the afternoon?
We're not going to start knocking on people who get drunk at 2, okay? I played a drunk pickup 2 at 10:30 in the morning, Greg.
But you are still drunk at 10 o'clock at night, aren't you?
Yeah, because I'm an alcoholic. Maybe Nick
now
T has a problem, guys. Come on.
Maybe he's now made out that he is sober now, so I think that's a cop-out. Total bullshit, so...
I just think we need to not bring alcoholism into this. We need to not attack alcoholism.
Let's not go
guys,
into
okay?
addiction.
Can we go back to making fun of Greg for being bad? That was better.
You're addicted to bad, Greg.
So bad, Greg. Why are you so bad? Why'd you go 1-11 in a CSS mix? You have 400 hours of CSS. You were in a top 10 UK team, for fuck's sake.
Were you even in a top 10 UK team? Was that a lie?
There were 12 UK teams. What's the answer? Are you mad, Greg?
I might be in the top 10 UK team for TF2 soon.
I'm very mad right now. This has not been a fun podcast for me, guys.
Don't worry, I'm sure the next one will be better. The next one will be better because you won't have a match that you just failed miserably in for us to make fun of.
Yeah. So just so you know, guys, can all the people listening, can you make some gossip for us for the next one, so I don't have to be ridiculed, so we can ridicule someone else? That would be good. So. Yeah, I'm talking to like Bash and that lot. Maybe you'll drop someone for us that's actually like worthwhile talking about. Maybe pick up MVP again. There we go. That would sound good. We can ridicule MVP for the whole show.
We'll still come back to you, Greg. I'm sure we'll find a way.
Wait. You want us to not ridicule you by ridiculing fat TF2 players? How is that not a connection?
Fuck you, man.
There are a lot of fat TF2 players, so Greg is looking to the right area for us to like veer away from. We could spend 28 podcasts and still not even cover half.
Oh god. Right, I'm gonna quickly have a look at my list of stories. I actually think that's nearing the end, so if you have any questions for us, guys, any one of us, or a general question, either PM me or write in #PirateRadio on QuakeNet, do let us know. And we'll cover them shortly. Is there anything else you guys want to go through? Maybe a shout out or a little owl joke, for instance?
I've got an owl joke, but it may make DJC just disconnect.
Oh, let's save it for the after party. The owl jokes. Owl jokes for after party. Yeah. So, do we have? Oh, DJC, are you gonna like suggest that question? Are you? good Prem scouts available to replace myself. Do you guys
I
want
was
to go
giving
for that?
the list, Greg. There's a reason there's just
okay.
a colon and then blank
Fair
space.
enough. Well, do you want to give the list out live on air then, rather than pissing about in IRC?
Do we have enough time?
Hold up. I think I can find a list very easily. I'm just going to load up the Div 2 tables and start naming the scouts.
Recruitment section, Div 3 plus.
Let's see. Let's find some scouts good enough to replace Greg. Div 2, 1, and Prim. Let's click scout. Oh my fucking god. This is awful. There's not even one.
Slow for me.
There's not even one. Yes!
No, wait, D2M.
Oh god, give me the benefit of the doubt. Come on, man, I'm better than D2M.
It's a bit borderline.
Yeah. I'm sure that D2M can frag gambles just as well as you can.
Fox is available as well, of course.
A lot of people are saying we haven't discussed Foundry. We were actually considering pushing that to the after party just because it's a bit more of a different discussion rather than the news of the current news of the TF2 scene. So do hang around. We will be doing the after party straight after this. It will go on VODs as well, but we'll end the VODs there. Does anybody else have another question? I've not even read what's been typed there.
Just nothing really.
No questions. So, do you guys want to give any shout-outs before we close the official podcast?
Jimmy Breeze would like me to transfer a shout-out to Admirable, who's in here listening right now and just joined this channel. The shout-out is to Admirable for failing to live up to Jimmy Breeze's impeccable I-39 coverage, and in the consequence, killing Cadra.org.
Can we bring Cadra.org back around to Admirable? He was the main writer. He then dropped out of writing, and look at what's happened. Can we not blame him?
He did
bring the
most active period of Cadre coverage.
If I had dropped out of Cadre before Admirable, I would still be getting ridiculed right now for being part of Cadre. So,
look, Greg, if you had never written for Cadre in your life, I would still be blaming you for its death. Let's just get that out there.
Everything
Cadred is my community home. It's where I used to go on all the time for CSS, and I still visit it every day, read all the CSS articles and everything. So
if I go read old Cadred CSS articles, am I gonna find people shit talking your 1 in 11 CSS ability?
Our CSS team wasn't even good enough to get on Cadred, I'm afraid, when we were back then.
But you were top 10 UK. That was so good.
But
See,
this is like
when I tell people. Yeah. This is like when I say to people, "Oh yeah, I'm Div 1 in America." It's like it doesn't fucking matter. It's America. It's irrelevant.
Would it be like saying
it didn't matter, but it was still fun, all right? Come on.
Would it be like saying Deserto or a top 5 UK team?
I'd love to be the top 10 out of 12 UK teams in CSS. I'd feel really privileged by that. I'd put it on my Steam profile.
Of course. The LAN that did well at had what 80 teams at. So yeah, fuck you, DJC.
Greg, I have similar accomplishments to you. I'm on an amazing Dino D-Day competitive team right now.
Are you really? I've heard about this game.
It's got me and Crink and Valley, 2 former Prem players in ETF2L, and then me, a shitter. So I mean, I'm just the brains of
you're
the
getting
operation.
carried then, blatantly.
If we're doing this, I used to be winning the best team in Europe for Star Wars Battlefront 2. So
nobody cares.
We won ESL for like a year. So for ESL for a year.
Oh, that is a good thing. We've actually missed out ESL completely. They have
Ding dong, the witch is dead,
folded.
witch old witch, the wicked witch. Fuck Anakin.
Well, that's covered that topic pretty much.
So let's just quickly turn this around. We've had a little discussion about ETF2L. Do we want to do an ETF2L versus ESL discussion quickly? Whether ESL death is good or bad for the scene, or what?
How, appropriate is it that we completely forgot about ESL dying until just now? Seriously, it's so indicative of what ESL was. Yeah. The fact that we even forgot. It was listed in the fucking topic list, too. You just breezed over it, ESL, what the fuck's that? I don't know.
Oh, it was there. It was
what
there,
does it stand for?
Here's the thing.
I'm even an ex-ESL admin.
ESL was the only league that really could have offered any high-level, incentive, for Prem team. But because it, Anakin...
It had a lot that it could have provided for the TF2 top-level teams and the TF2 community as such.
Instead it gave us AIDS in the form of Aquitas and ESL Wire, so that was great.
I just don't think that like TF2 teams will ever get on with having to run another client. I mean,
Yeah.
America have to do it all the time, and they fucking hate ESEA with a passion.
TF2
Yet
players...
the American players that came and played the Nations Cup hated Wire more than ESEA.
Yeah.
Is that even possible? Like, ESEA is that bad.
TF2 players constantly parrot the talking point that we need to do everything we possibly can to grow TF2. I mean, people have finally started accepting that it's not going to happen. But how many people do you think over the years have been like, yeah, man, we need to grow TF2, we need to expose it, that's why we need Cadred and Vanilla and blah, blah, blah. And then went, ESL, fuck that, and just played an ETF2L, which is like... There's no better way to prevent TF2 from growing than to continue playing ETF2L, which does nothing, has no exposure, and is so... ETF2L is as irrelevant as something can be while still being the most important thing to this game.
E2F2L is simply a community site. That's all I see it as. It's not an esports site. It's not, it's not to a wider masses at all. It's just there as a community, and then it's gone, hang on a minute, let's make a ladder. Oh, hang on a minute, let's make seasons. And then it's somehow progressed to the most prestigious tournament in TF2, purely because nobody else does anything.
I would equate ETF2L to being like a Justin Bieber fan site in terms of respectability and integrity. It's probably hosted on like homestead.com or like GeoCities before it died kind of thing. Like, that's what ETF2L feels like to me. It has the most teams, and it's the only thing we have, but it's really nothing. Like, ETF2L is nothing. And the fact that we stayed confined to ETF2L for so long is why TF2 never fucking grew, ever.
Hey, hang on a minute. They're going to have prize money for the next season.
Season 11! It's the 11th!
As I said, Slick said on the article in his comment that ECF2L and Vanilla TV need to step up their game. Yeah. With their competitors dropping, they need to match them. Those were the two main, esports ways out for TF2. If you see what I mean by that, ways for the rest of esports, the rest of competitive gaming, to see the community, to see the game. If I said Castle Wolfenstein to any of you, none of you would know anything about the competitive side to it. All right?
Played a mix once.
Yeah, but you would know nothing about it because it's not in ESL, it's not in Cadred, it's not on ES Reality, it's not on any of the major websites. It used to be the same sort of thing as TF2. It used to be a massive, massive competitive game. It used to be like who was it? Tosspot used to play it, and he used to cast it, and he used to push the scene as much as he possibly could, in the same way that Torden kind of does, if you see him even for us. The way that he heads up the community site, he casts and stuff like that, and he's trying to push it elsewhere. But it's died. There's still a community. There's no more LANs, because there's like one LAN every 2 years. Like, it's just died, and that is where I see TF2 going now, because there's nothing else for anybody else to come into competitive. Fair enough, you might pick up a few TF2 players, but majority of them are going to go to Highlander. No one's going to really want to play a competitive. If anyone wants to actually play a competitive game, they're going to go COD, they're going to go CS, they're going to go StarCraft. They're not going to come... They'll play TF2 as a public game or Highlander for fun. They're not going to go, hang on a minute, it's a really, really cool game. Let's try the competitive side out of it. Because the competitive side really isn't there in relation to the likes of CS, StarCraft 2. So that's what I'm just saying now, and that's where we'll be in a year and a half.
Slick's comment really tells us two things. He says that Vanilla and ETF2L need to step their game up. One, probably for a game to be successful in any way, you should probably step your game up before 4 years fucking in. Because it's not like there's a next step that, like, the step above where we are now is like atrophied and rotted, and if you step on it, you're gonna fall through and like break your fucking neck. And then second, like, why would they have to step up now? There's nothing else for them to compete against. There never really was. Like, what incentive is there for them to push forward? Vanilla's not going to gain any new viewers or readers if they go, oh man, we really need legitimate TF2 articles now. Because everyone, as much as everyone whined about it for very good reason, when Vanilla TF2 did the, like, which hat is the best for each class bullshit last summer, people ate that the fuck up. They loved it so much. If Vanilla can continue to put out, like, stuff content of that quality of which demo man hat do you think is the prettiest, then they're not gonna have any fucking problems. They don't need to step a thing up. They could take 5 steps back and it would still be by far the most viewed, most beloved thing in TF2.
Well, it comes down to the quality of the writing that needs to step up
Woo!
in my books. Which have I ever seen a quality in the writing at Vanilla?
I wrote an article there once.
Ouch.
Don't think I have.
Ouch.
It's there as a blog form, and that's the way Tournament wants it to be represented, which is fair enough. But there's no way for it to be professional at all. Like that's the only thing I see with that. ETF2L is just, it's there for the community, and it does well for the community, but it's now there to progress the esport of TF2. It's the only thing there as a league to progress the European version of the esport, and there's no way that a sponsor will come in, look at that, and go, "Hang on a minute, I want to put money into this."
An indication of how low ETF12 goes. I found out I was gone for 6 months, and when I came back, one of the first things I found out was that I was going to be offered an ETF12 admin spot. If only I had been there to accept. For fuck's sake, ETF12, when your standards are that low, you should probably consider that.
Wait. You got offered. I applied to be an ETF2 admin twice and got ignored completely. What the fuck?
You're a journalism student, so your application must have been outstanding.
I'm a serious journalism student.
It doesn't matter if it's meant to be a business. That's the thing.
It now has to be.
Yeah. You can't say that it doesn't matter if it's a business or not. In a year's time, there won't be 6v6 anymore. But I-46 will be the last LAN of TF2.
Thank fucking God.
Yeah. Well, I'm 100% sure of that. Assembly will Winter Assembly be happening?
Doubt it.
I hope so. I really do. But if it doesn't, then it doesn't. And that is just the stepping stone towards other, multiplayer dropping it. The only reason that multiplayer currently has money is because of certain people pressuring the right players in multiplayer. The right not players, you know what I mean, the right members and staff of multiplayer. And one of them is so good at making sure that they get sponsors for their tournaments. Also, fair enough, the community aspect does provide quite a lot to it, but who's going to want to go to a community that's dead? Who's going to want to turn up to a LAN that the community doesn't the teams aren't going to go, so then the community's not going to go, so what's the point? I-46 will be the last, the community will go to that, but no one's going to go to the ones in between. They're going to kill it off. I think we should move on from this actually, or bring it into the after party. We've been discussing this for quite a long time, and this is nearly an hour-long podcast.
Yeah, just one last thing.
Go for it.
When you think about old TF2, what do you think of? I think of the old admins, Ratio and Snowy and Dave doing a lot of work, and I think of Tapley, who's done so much work over the years for the I-Series lands, and I think of all of those people. And Tapley's not going to be doing any more lands, and Snowy's gone, and Dave's gone, and Jimmy Breeze left us 3 years ago because he knew so well in advance, and Admirable's gone now. And what we have left with Cadrid and ESL gone is this podcast. This podcast is the darkest and final days of TF2. This is the dark days before the reckoning comes, everybody. Just prepare yourself because TF2's done soon.
I feel that it's a shame that it's happening, but we have to be blunt with everybody. If everything's dropping us, what's the point in people giving us money, orgs giving us sponsorships? Fair enough, there might be community members that want to go to events, but past that, there won't be any money in it. So will people go? Will the teams go? The teams that people go and watch go? You'll move on to different games, and you'll play a different game to go to that event, and you'll move on to a different community. But I'm going to end the actual podcast, and we're going to take a quick 5-minute break, maybe 10-minute break, just quickly as well. So this has been Pirate Radio, guys. I'm sorry about how dark the end of the discussion went into, but we'll come back into more depth after this. Maybe have a bit more fun. So thank you very much for joining us. See you in a second.